Halito Ankana, Sahochifoya Brinoster Leopard High Country News. Fans across the West are mourning Joe the Deer, an ungulate influencer whose tracking collar took us on a migratory journey across Wyoming's red desert and mountain slopes. Joe brought valuable insight into how, when, and why muley herds migrate. Some deer, for instance, fatten up to travel long distances, while others stay closer to home to make sure their fawns survive. Joe also helped Western scientists understand when and why mule deer return to burn scars to forage. Her death was announced in March, alas, and while her celebrity presence will be missed, her legacy lives on, and hopefully, so do her fawns. Kylie Mohr reports. Now let's get back to the archives issue. It's archival. When you think of historical photographs of natives, what comes to mind? Probably someone stiff and frowning and an Edward Curtis photo. But what was regular life like for natives when there wasn't a white photographer buzzing around telling them what to do? The archives of Cherokee photographer Jenny Ross Cobb give us a glimpse into the lives of ordinary Cherokee folks during the golden days of Indian Territory in the early 1900s, just before Oklahoma's statehood. Cobb is the first known Native woman photographer, and Will Chavez, who's a contemporary Native photographer, walks us through Cobb's life, illuminating what's so special about the short-lived career of this amateur but talented artist who captured the humanity and spontaneity of her subjects. And what about other people in the West who never made it into any official archives, like all the queer people of color who died of AIDS in the 1980s, sometimes without even an obituary to remember them by? Writer Lydia Otero spent the 80s gathering mementos of LGBTQ life in Los Angeles, like photos of marches, souvenirs from activist events, and copies of queer newsletters. Otero knew instinctively that these items were more than just personal keepsakes, and they turned out to be right. Their personal archive, a storage box they safeguarded through apartment after apartment, can now double as a historical account of the LGBTQ movement during a time that it wasn't adequately documented. Otero shared this treasure trove with HCN, along with their personal moments about queer life in 80s LA. Don't miss it. There's lots more to read at hcn.org. We've even got some shorts by Theo Whitcomb about a beer archive in Oregon and a digital COVID-19 archive, so get reading. I'm Brian Oaster, and now you know the West. Chipis la chiki.